So today I'm really delighted to welcome Jenny Pym. And Jenny lives in County Wexford in Ireland with her husband and dogs and ponies. And she's the founder of Equestrian Tai Chi and Dao riding. She loves helping humans develop a deeper connection with their horses through developing their internal energy or chi. So, big warm welcome, Jenny. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, hi Tracy. It's lovely to see you and to meet you finally.
Yeah, yeah,
I know
because
we've been in contact for years and years. Yeah,
yeah, we said
yeah.
we've been following one another and
Yes,
all
yeah,
the rest of it and never actually met. So it's really
yes,
lovely to see you.
yeah.
And so just tell us a little bit about your horsey journey. Have you always been around horses?
Yeah, well, yes, nearly always throughout my life, but I had breaks when I lived in London, in my 20s and 30s. No, well, my 20s really. So when I was about, I've always been literally addicted to ponies. I was, we had this very bold pony called Joey. And my mother was also addicted to horses as well. And my first sort of memory was going over to Hutchinson's over in Kilkenny. And they had this indoor sort of walled garden and having riding lessons there on Joey. And then I went to Pony Club and Joey and everything. I was the only one in my family. Well, I was the older one in my family who liked riding. My older brother and sister didn't, and my younger brother and sister did. Then they took it up. But I absolutely adored Joey. I mean, he was everything to me, and I'd ride him every day. I'd come home from school every day, and there was a little acre field over the lane, and I set up this little jump in it with bales. I always remember after school in September that time with bales, and I would jump that jump. I don't know how many times. I don't know how he put up with me, but but he did have his own fun anyway, because what he used to do is he'd put his head down after the jump and I just fall straight off. So I
Right.
did this constantly. I mean, I used to fall off and fall off and fall off, but the grass was quite long. That was probably why he was wanting to put his head down, and so it was soft, so I kept going. I did keep going. And then everything, I used to go to Pony Club on him, and he was actually very bold. I used to hunt as well years ago. I don't hunt now at all, but years and years ago, I wouldn't hunt now. I did, and like Joey would pass out the master out hunting and do things like that. But there was one time I was leading him out to get up on something, to get up on him, and he tried to get away, and he kicked, and he, luckily I was wearing a hat because he kicked me in the head. And my aunt, who's a nurse, was there. She's down from Dublin at the time. And we went into the bathroom, or they must have found me, or I went in. I can't remember exactly. I think I went into the house, and we lifted off my hat in the bathroom, and then all blood fell down my face. And then it was Sunday. So we went into the doctor in Enniscorthy, and I'd really long hair at the time, kind of like it is now, parted to the side, and I loved hiding behind it. And the doctor cut the scar was there, it still is there, and he cut my hair around here with his, the pointy scissors for, I don't know, cutting bandages or maybe stitches or something. So anyway, he cut my hair, and I was screaming. I didn't want my hair cut, but it was only around there anyway, in big sort of chunks of it. And then he squirted some stuff on it, and we went home, and that was it. But but it was, I don't remember, you know I wasn't really scared after that, funnily enough. My dad wanted to shoot my pony with a shotgun and everything. I was screaming at him, begging him not to. I mean, it was a horrible experience all round. And but I just loved Joey, and that was it. So um, later on, then I got another pony solo who I absolutely loved. He was a 14-2 pony. I got him when I was 12. And then I went to London, and I came back again with my husband. We bought a tiny little small holding here. I have about five, or we have about 5 acres. And then my mom gave me the ponies, all the ponies that she had. We took them over here, and then I started breeding ponies, Connemara ponies, because they were Connemara ponies. And then I absolutely loved breeding Connemara ponies, and I did that for a good few years. And then my children started riding. And then I suppose, like the way I started equestrian Tai Chi, this it sort of leads into this is that I would sort of ride their ponies for them as well if they were in school. And I was sitting practicing equestrian Tai Chi or practicing Tai Chi on the ponies because I'd started learning Tai Chi um, when I came back from London. Because when I was in Christie's, I am uh, an archivist, sorting records and everything.
Yeah.
I have a degree in that. And I used to work in Christie's, the auctioneers, in their international clients department. And I was over there in the 80s, and there was a massive art boom, and people from the Far East were buying the Chinese and the Japanese. So Christie's needed to find out about them. So we had a Chinese expert and a Japanese expert. So I used to liaise with them to write up the records correctly because their names their names are sort of backwards rather than the way we're used to them. Well, not
Yeah.
backwards, but they're arranged in a different way, I should say. And so I really got to know this woman called Anne Ling, and a Chinese lady, and we used to go out to dinner in Chinatown, and she'd say, "Look, these, they're not looking at me now because I'm with you. They don't, you know, want me to mix with you and things like that." And I really got to know the culture, and I just found it so absorbing and interesting. And I loved, you know, learning about all the Chinese people who came, and they were all buying French impressionist art, Picasso's and Monet's and things like that. But I just found it so interesting. I was just hooked. And so when I came back to Ireland, I uh, after a couple of years, when I had a little bit of space, after the children had grown up a small bit, I started learning Tai Chi in Dublin. And then I started teaching Tai Chi because my teacher there said, I really enjoyed it and liked it and everything, and I should really teach it and share it. So then I had ponies for them as well. And so